Someone's been searching for answers because your relationships have really been testing you lately, and you're currently very aware of the fact that the spirit world is trying to contact you, like the ancestors are trying to talk to you, and so I'm here to tell you what they have to say. Divine ancestors, please tell me what this collective group needs to hear. Remember, this is a timeless reading, so anytime you see this, it's for you, and it's a general collective reading. So take what fits in your life, what feels right, and if it doesn't feel right, just leave it. It's not for you. Okay. What's going on here? Yeah. Ten of Swords. We have a situation that has, it's like it's over already, but you're still, it's like you're licking your wounds. And this felt like an attack from outside forces. However, this was meant to make you look inward. We have the World in reverse. You're a very powerful person, but the things that you were trying to bring into fruition were being blocked by this belief that things from outside of you were attacking you. Five of Cups and Three of Cups in reverse. This definitely had to do with relationships, having to leave things behind. Dealing with loss and like grief, but also knowing that this grief serves a higher purpose to change your relationships. We've got the Eight of Swords in reverse. Freeing yourself from that feeling of loss. Freeing yourself from the feeling of loss around relationships. It's like you're learning to accept what is. You're also not trying to force things, so you're thinking less in black and white, like this person is good or bad, and more in terms of this hurt me or it didn't hurt me. And that changes things for you because you used to have to find reasons why you needed to cut someone off, or why you needed to set a boundary, or like, yeah, you used to find reasons instead of it's just saying like this is not my kind of person, or I don't like being treated in this way or that way. You would feel a certain way and then look at the person in front of you and say, this person made me feel this way. And now, like, you're moving away from the energy of this person made me feel this way, therefore they're bad, to, oh, I recognize that I need to set some very strong boundaries because regardless of whether somebody is good or bad, that's not the point. The point is if something hurts, then it's up to me to set boundaries or move away from it, or do whatever I need to do. There's times when you have allowed people to just do all kinds of things that hurt you because it was unintentional and they were doing it like they were doing it unintentionally, or like that's at least what you perceived, and you were like, well, I can't, this person is my friend, I can't tell them no. It's like that kind of energy. But you're recognizing that it doesn't matter if someone's like good or a good friend or something. If they're doing something that hurts you, even if it's unintentional, you not only have the right, but you have the responsibility to speak up and say, no, not that. Yeah. Let's let's get some clarification on the world in reverse. What were they trying to manifest that has been blocked by this situation? Knight of Stones, which is Knight of Pentacles. Horse spirit. You were trying to create freedom for you, financial freedom, material freedom. Like you were trying to get out of the energy of suffering. King of Vessels. This is the King of Cups. Yeah, you were trying to create also like emotional stability for yourself and emotional maturity. And abundance. And the thing is, you have that energy in you. You know that you have that. But you've been noticing that things have been difficult for you. What is this situation, the Ten of Swords? What happened here? Three of Cups. In reverse, again, Three of Vessels. So it seems like you have left behind relationships recently. This might be like a friend group, or this might be multiple people that you've had to set boundaries with. And maybe the way that you did it, it's a mixed bag. Because in some cases, like the way that you did it was good and you admire that. In other cases, the way that you did it, you don't think that you like you think maybe you spoke hastily or harshly, and it's not that you would have wanted to keep this person or these people in your life, but it's more that like you wish that you would have done it in a more diplomatic way or something. What's the Five of Cups energy here? Clarify the Five of Cups. We have the Archer, which is the Chariot. This was something that was actually supposed to encourage you to make a move, to be decisive, to go after what you want, to take the reins, to take control. Six of Vessels, Six of Cups at the bottom. This was you healing your, like a childhood wound. It was you healing a childhood wound. You were freeing yourself from that through this situation. Please tell me more about the Three of Cups. Ten of Bows. This is the Ten of Wands with responsibility. So you were actually carrying a lot more burdens than these people that you have left behind. You were carrying a lot more than your fair share of things. Three of Stones at the bottom, Three of Pentacles, creativity. You are somebody, I think you've heard the word decolonize before, and you may or may not know what that is, but it's like a word that I think it's stuck with you. And you are somebody who is trying to live a more creative life. You don't really know what that means. And for some of you are starting to get it. You're starting to understand what that means. But for some of you, you've heard that. You're like, yes, that's what I want. You don't really know how to get it. And so you asked the universe for this, for a more creative life. And the universe said, okay, but you have to put down your burdens. You have to put down the things that are keeping you from living a more creative life. Now, here's what you need to know about what a creative life looks like. There are many, many different types of, like many different ways to live a creative life. One example is to beautify your home. To put time and effort into the items that you choose to put in your home or that you make for your home. so that nothing is just ordinary. Everything has both a function and an aesthetic. And the aesthetic itself reminds you of its function. And so that's just like one example. Another example of a creative life might be like kind of being able to fly by the seat of your pants a little bit more. Not knowing what the answer is or what the outcome is, like not knowing where your next meal is coming from, not knowing where you're gonna sleep tonight, but like embracing the adventure and knowing, like trusting that you'll just figure it out, that you'll have a beautiful, wonderful place to sleep tonight, and that if you don't, that's part of a bigger plan too. That if you that like you might not know where your next meal is coming from, but you trust that you'll find it. And that if you go on like the hunt or a hunt of some sort and you look for the meal, that it will present itself to you. That's a more creative life because of the fact that we do not, we don't really live like that in this society anymore. Because it's risky. It's precarious. It's like it's a very uncomfortable situation to be in. But it can also be very rewarding if it's embraced in a very adventurous and playful way. What else do they need to know about building a creative life? Page of Arrows is the Page of Swords. I feel that some of you are actually, some of you are relocating, but some of you are just like changing up the way that you view home. And this also connects to communication, intellect, and setting boundaries. At the bottom of the deck, we have Seven of Stones in reverse, healing. You are definitely long overdue for healing, and this healing that you're doing right now is part of, it's what you asked for, since you asked for the creative life from the universe. The universe said, okay, you want a creative life? Here's how to get it. It's by actually engaging with your relationships in ways that teach you how to set boundaries, how to communicate in a mature and effective way, and how to expand your intellect. And it, like in a way that I'm gonna say the fact that I said the word decolonize earlier, it's like that's something for some of you in this group, that's something that you've really been searching for. You've been searching for the answers of like, what does that even mean? How do I get there? What do I do for that? And so that's part of like expanding your intellect and bringing that into your home life, whatever that may be, because your home might be a house, it might be a vehicle, your home might be yourself. You might be someone who just like carries some necessities in a bag, and anywhere you go is home because you are home in yourself. That might be the kind of lifestyle that you're looking for, that you're asking for. And so the Divine Earth Mother has been gently showing you. And it's funny, I say gently and I already feel like a pushback, like this does not feel gentle. It feels like all of my relationships suddenly, like everyone turned on me, or like, yeah, it's like there was like a drastic change in your relationships, and it was because you started to have some self-respect and you started to put down the burdens that were not yours to begin with. Okay, but tell me about this Ten of Swords. Like, what was the thing outside of them? Tell me more about that piece. The attacks from outside. We have the Ace of Bows, which is the Ace of Wands, in reverse. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have Page of Vessels, which is Page of Cups, also in reverse. So yeah, there was a little bit of emotional immaturity in the way that you communicated. In at least, it's like, not all of it, but it's, listen, you're not being reprimanded at all. Let me just say this. The download that I'm getting right now is that it was necessary for you to experiment with allowing yourself to communicate in a very emotionally volatile way, because you needed to like test the boundaries and see like what's right and what's wrong. You're somebody who's like, because you carry so many responsibilities, you are a very mature person, and you're a very mindful person. And because of that, like, you actually maybe hold yourself back from telling the truth. Maybe because you are somebody who, you are very powerful when you speak, and people have told you this, and they've told you also that sometimes when you speak you have hurt them, and so you're mindful that you have the power to hurt people or to help people. And so you're often really trying to help people, and really trying not to hurt people. And because of that, like, you've been holding yourself back from evolving, because you've been staying in an energy where instead of confronting things, you've been running away from them. Oh, okay, this is making a lot of sense. It's like I feel that the people in this group have been very confrontational people at some point, and are trying not to be confrontational. And because they've tried so hard not to be confrontational, they've become avoidant of conflict. It's like when there's conflict, they go like, I'm dysregulated, so I don't have the ability to be part of this conversation. And so then they step away, they walk away. And this seems to them to be the most mature way to handle this situation, because that is the way that their family or people around them have handled it, where they're like, if I don't have anything nice to say, I'm not going to say anything at all. And there's wisdom in that, but then there's also like, you can overdo it. You can take it overboard to the other end of the spectrum, where you say to yourself like, I don't want to hurt anyone, therefore I'm never going to have any conflict with anyone at all. And I'm never going to allow myself to be human and sometimes say some things that I'm thinking, but that, like, they're a little bit off the cuff. Because, it's like you're trying too hard to be a good person, in a way, like too hard to be diplomatic. And in doing so, you have at times abandoned yourself. So you needed to actually experiment with going overboard and being too much, and seeing where the line is and how that felt to you. So this was not something bad that you did at all. This was actually not you coming off of the path. This was you, like, this was a moment where you looked inward. You looked at this, and you've been looking at this. And spirit, the spirit world is very proud of you. The divine ancestress is very proud of you. I call her the divine ancestress. She's the divine earth mother. We've all come from her. So you have every ability that she has. You have her in your DNA. And I think that you have been part of this search for a more creative life has led you to a more earth-centered life, which is why you're here on my page. Because those are the messages that I'm giving right now, are messages to help the collective to live more earth-centered, people-centered lives rather than self-centered lives. And and living more creative lives is part of living more holistic, earth-centered, people-centered lives. Um, and so you're somebody who is like starting to learn these things. You're starting to come up against these questions, looking for answers about how to, about like where are the boundaries where when it comes to relationships, to communication, to um, conflict. Okay, communications, that like that's one of the things that has been happening with your relationships, is you're not just learning how to speak to people in relationships, you're learning how to speak to people in general. Like you're learning how to come up against conflict and actually stay with it. And so some of you have run away from conflict recently, and you're starting to like you're questioning things, you're having doubts, you're starting to ask yourself, you might even be having regrets about having run away from this conflict. Um, but also you're confronting, you're just like confronting a lot around that, because I don't think it's a clear cut answer like oh yeah, this conflict that I ran away from is it was just like I should have just confronted it head on. No, I think that there were boundaries that needed to be put in place. Like you needed to not let people speak to you with disrespect and things like that, or like lie about you. But you also have disempowered yourself by saying, when I'm dysregulated, that is never the time to talk. Like sometimes we're just dysregulated and that's what it is, and like there's no amount of regulation that's going to get you to be regulated. Like we are living in a kind of stressful times, and not only that, it's like anything can be like a factor in stress, and in not being able to let go of stress, such as like having any kind of neurodivergence, or autoimmune disorders, or being a person of color. Like you can be any kind of marginalized person, someone with disabilities. Like there are so many reasons why anybody might actually feel stress and not be able to let it go. And so then to expect people to be completely regulated when they are having conflict is completely unrealistic. So you're working on actually having conflict even when you're dysregulated. And that is why some of these conflicts have presented themselves to you at this point. Okay, tell me more about the... Ooh, no, that was too much. Tell me more about the chariot, about the archer here. Queen of Wands. You are learning to like embrace a more compassionate, benevolent life, not persona, but like you're learning how to channel that kind of energy into conflicts. You are also learning how to be more creative about your approaches. I did a reading about this recently, where I was talking about a scene in a show where a woman stood in between like two rival gangs and stopped them from going to like all out war with each other. And also in the same episode, like two women seemed like they were about to fight, and one of them looked to the other and said, "We're women. We know better than this." And so like you're somebody who you're learning how to have conflict in a way that is not war. You're learning the art of conflict. You're learning the art of negotiation. Not just that, it's like you're learning diplomacy. You're learning diplomacy in a way that is not destructive to you, okay? Because you've been someone who's practiced diplomacy a lot, but it's to your own detriment. It's like you don't actually say what you're thinking because you're trying so hard to be diplomatic, to be a peacekeeper to not start a bigger problem than there is. Sometimes you can't actually de-escalate someone else's problem that they're having, their attitude that they're having, but you can choose to remain. It's like there's a way to be strong but not domineering, and there's also a way to be gentle without being a pushover, without silencing your own voice. So that's the balance. That's what you're learning here right now. And then we also have Nine of Wands in reverse. This is about like sometimes when you're I think you're recognizing that sometimes when you're fighting, you're actually fighting yourself more than you are fighting anybody else. You're fighting your own demons more than you're fighting anybody else. And I think that at times you've tried to like deny that, or to say like, well, since they're my own demons, therefore my feelings are not really valid. And I think that you're still like learning to work through that feeling, the feeling that your emotions are not valid because you know that they come from trauma. And so that's one reason why you would run away from conflict, because you don't trust yourself, because you look at yourself and go, my feelings aren't actually valid. I don't have a right to feel this. Or I don't actually know if this is reality. What if this is the way I feel now and it's not the way I feel later? That might all be true. Like you might feel a certain way now and not feel that way later. Um, but you still should be voicing your opinions, like in your desires, your wants, your thoughts, the things that you're thinking. You should be voicing them in that moment because they are coming to you for a reason. You are someone who's very intuitive. So a lot of the thoughts and feelings that you have are being, you know, directly channeled from the divine. And so even if people don't like what you have to say, even if, even if they judge what you have to say, it was something that needed to be said. It was something that someone needed to hear. Even this conflict in which you were way too harsh with somebody, possibly, you still were saying something that they needed to hear. Your delivery might need a little bit of work, but the truth was there. I think you know that. You still know that. You said something true, but you just said it in a way that in which people couldn't hear you. They couldn't listen to you. And so this lesson is supposed to bring you into, it's like the understanding that there are times to be diplomatic and there's ways to be diplomatic without compromising the self. How can they do this, be diplomatic without compromising the self? Oh, that's interesting. I just saw that this had actually been turned over from the previous question that I'd asked about the chariot. The Siddhi, I think that's how it's, Siddhi? I don't know. I think that's how it's pronounced. Does anyone know? Let me know in the comments if you know how to pronounce this. I don't know if you can even read that. The Siddhi? I don't know. But it's the Hanged Man, and this came out in reverse. And so it's like that, it's like confirming that that's why you're in a moment of just like feeling like nothing's working out for you and like you've been at a standstill. It's because that is divine guidance to tell you there's something you're missing here. You need to look at this from a different perspective. Um, okay, yeah, so, but the question that I asked was, how can they achieve this diplomacy? How can they integrate this lesson? Again, we have Seven of Pentacles in reverse and Eight of Swords in reverse. Setting healthy boundaries, freeing yourself. Freeing yourself from inaction due to not believing in yourself. Okay, that makes a little bit of sense because what's coming to me as that's you know that card is presenting itself is that you're someone who, because you've dealt with some very harsh circumstances, excuse me, you're someone who's dealt with some very harsh circumstances in life. And because of that, this has created a lack of mindset in some ways. Now, I'm not glossing over the fact that oppression is real, marginalization is real, trauma is real, illness is real, disability, chronic pain is real. And if those are things, there are things about all those things that I mentioned, and also like mental health, that, oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Um, there's things about all those things that I mentioned that do limit a body in many ways. But it's also, it becomes very demoralizing when you are limited. You start to believe that there's no way out, that there's no cure for this. And for some people, like, that might be triggering to hear because you've heard like that there was a cure for your autism or your neurodivergence in some way, or there was a cure for your queerness. There was a cure for the anger or grief that you experienced as a person of color, as a BIPOC person, or you know, black or brown person, however you identify. Like, you've heard that before, where people say that there's a cure for what you're experiencing, as if what you were experiencing was not real, or that it was like wrong. It made you fundamentally wrong. And so that is not what I mean. I want to make a very important distinction about that. That's not what I mean. Because there are genuine circumstances in which what somebody else considers to be a disability or a limitation, it's like they're seeing it as more of that than it is, and they're ascribing it more of like a negative meaning than it actually has. And because of that, like, they put that onto you, and if that continues to happen to you often enough, eventually it does become like it becomes something that you carry with you. You believe it. It's like, okay, this is something in neuroscience that I learned last year that has been very helpful for me. It's called the nocebo effect. You are somebody who has been affected by the nocebo effect. If you've heard of the placebo effect, that's when like you can give somebody like sugar pills instead of, and like you give somebody else the actual medication, and the people who have the sugar pills think that they're getting the other medication, and they actually start to like show signs of as if they're taking that medication. So like let's say they're taking allergy meds, and then the people who got the placebo and didn't actually get the allergy meds, their allergy symptoms might actually go away because they truly believe that they have this that they were given an allergy pill, and so because of that their allergies went away. It was like something they were able to do internally. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Oh my god. I'm gonna just take it as confirmation because that used to happen to me when I was like, I'm a singer, and I used to sing in a band with my family, and and they would just like laugh at me because I would be in band practice singing and then just start yawning and just wouldn't be able to stop yawning. And my mom, who's a professional singer, was like, that's actually a good sign. That means that you're using your diaphragm and like your lungs correctly, or like you're like creating like openness in your chest and in the back of your throat. And so it's like creating a yawn, you know? So for some of you, you may actually be doing breath work. Maybe that's why I'm picking up on that. And I'm also just going to take it as a confirmation that whatever's coming through it's big and it needs to be processed. And we might not even get through it in this one reading because there's more to come. There's more that you're working through. But yeah, I just feel that there's something going on with you in which like you oh yeah, that's what I was telling you about. I was telling you about the nocebo effect because I told you about the placebo effect about people who believe that they have this medication, they actually um, will get better as if they were taking the medication, but really they're just taking sugar pills, and that's the power of the mind, right? And the same thing happens in the opposite effect, where they've been able to determine that people who are told you have this illness, you will never recover from it. These people now believe that, and now they also don't ever recover from it. Whereas people who are never told that might believe there's a way to overcome this, and so they continue to work at it. They continue to take the steps. And I actually feel that you're somebody who is taking steps to or you've been feeling like you need to take steps to improve your health, or to improve your mobility, to improve your mental health, whatever it is that you feel that limits you from being able to do things like work a steady job or create wealth and abundance for yourself, create any kind of material stability, uh, whatever that is that you feel that's been limiting you from being able to do that. Um, you are you're being called to look at the things that you've been told that you can't do, the things that you have been told that you can never overcome, because you can and will absolutely overcome those things. It might not look the way that other people think that being healed looks like. Okay? It might not be that. It's definitely not going to be that if you're gay, you pray the gay away and now you're not gay. Right? So then what is, if and for some of you, you might even be like in a wheelchair and you always have been, and so like it really is no way that you're just gonna get up and start walking, like. So what does that healing in which you're not so limited, what does that look like for you when you are stuck in a wheelchair, when you have a disease that you've been told is incurable, when you have any kind of mental illness that you've been told is incurable, when you've been told that you're never going to get out of the neighborhood that you were born and raised in, when you were told that, like, we're not the kind of people that make money. The world isn't made for us. Yeah, the world might not have been made for you, but you have the power to start making a world for yourself, in which, despite how the world tries to oppress you and limit you, you continue to push past those barriers of oppression and limitation. We have at the bottom of the deck the Two of Chalices, Two of Cups in reverse. Something about a new friend. This is important for you to know. Tell me about the Two of Chalices, the Two of Cups, this new friend. I love this for you. This new friend. Let me just get a drink of water because my throat's getting itchy. This is compostable, by the way. I don't try not to use single-use plastics. Just don't want to condone that. But I'm someone who has like a chronic condition. And so I don't have the ability to wash dishes all the time. And so that's why in order to take care of myself, I choose to use disposable things, right? But then I try to do it in a responsible way, where I'll get like compostable cups and plates and utensils, because it just weighs on me and weighs on my conscience. If I'm using all these single-use plastics, it just feels icky to me. And I say that because I feel like there's this, especially like one or two people at the very least, but there's probably more. It feels like it's significant for you to know that there are things that you can do to help yourself and to help others, or to help the world, to help the earth, while also taking care of yourself. There's ways to balance both things. Even if you are somebody who is disabled, marginalized in some way. And it's important that you know this, because it's important to you. It is, I can sense that it's important to you, that you feel that you are a person who can help others. And you've been someone who's had to help yourself a lot recently. And you sometimes feel, I think, a little bit like you're being selfish when you're helping yourself. And so there's been new friendships that have come into your life to teach you how to help yourself, how to achieve that balance of helping yourself while also being more people-centered and more earth-centered. This new person that's in your life or coming into your life is represented by the Knight of Water, and which is Knight of Cups, and the Eight of Earth, which is Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is like building skills, working towards goals. We have Leo energy here. The Knight of Water, or Knight of Cups, is someone who, this is someone who wants to offer to teach you some new skills. So they have already offered this, or will be offering this soon in some way. Like they would teach you, or they offer you, like they invite you to a class, or they even like go, like they gift you a class, or gift you an experience in which you are learning this new skill that you've been wanting to learn. Two of Water, Two of Cups. I don't know if you can see that, but this is like a very possessive energy. Pisces energy, Libra energy. Which one is the other one that's ruled by Venus? Is it Taurus? Virgo? Maybe Virgo? Oh my god, why am I drawing such a blank on that right now? But yeah, this is like somebody who actually, they might present as a friend at first, or you at least have some sort of friendship, but there's definitely love undertones under this. And if this is not romantic love, then this is someone who like has so much love for you, as like it's like you're their chosen family. This is someone I like, even though it's someone new, it's like someone that feels like you've known them forever. Or if this is someone who you have known forever, it's like a new phase that you're entering with them, in which they're actually helping you progress. Whereas in the past, they might have held you back and contributed to the feeling that you didn't, the belief that you didn't know what you were doing, or that you would never be able to get yourself out of this situation. What's the advice here for them? We have the Nine of Swords. Something's keeping you up at night. And then we have the Queen of Swords. You are really, like, the thing that you're seeing, you are seeing the truth. You're cutting through all the BS. And that's what's keeping you up at night, it seems like. Because you're seeing things very clearly about this person. What are they seeing about this person that's so clear? Seven of Pentacles in reverse. You're seeing... That's so funny because it fell on top of the Seven of Pentacles in reverse from the previous deck. So it's like you're seeing how this other person in the past, or like, so, yeah, if it's a person from your past, you're seeing how they have blocked your, they've kind of kept you in a like lack mindset, where you don't believe that you have the capability of getting yourself out of anything. Or if this is a new person, so again, new phase with an old person or a new person, but repeating old patterns. And so this new person is illuminating your lack mindset. We have the Page of Fire, or Page of Wands, at the bottom of the deck. They're illuminating your more domineering qualities. It's like they really throw you off balance. Why? How do they do this? How do they throw this collective off balance? Ooh, that really, really flew out there. We have the Chariot, which came out before the Archer. And at the bottom of the deck, the Page of Cups, which I cannot show you because I'm not trying to get banned from YouTube. But what I'm seeing here is that this person like really ignites, like they excite you. There's something about them that's exciting to you. They're like, there's something about voyeurism here for some people. Seeing some more Pisces energy. It's like somebody who wants to offer you something, but they're not really fully prepared to give you what you need. And you have very, very, very strong feelings for them. It's like you want things to move a lot faster than they're moving. They're moving kind of slow. They're moving slow, and so this is like, okay, I'm seeing what's going on here. There might be like some codependence that you're working through. Again, either with an old person who you're starting a new cycle with, or a new person who you're seeing old patterns repeat themselves with. But it's codependency because it's like you're seeing the world through their eyes and more than through your own eyes. And not only are you seeing the world through their eyes, but it's like you perform for them. It's like life is not worth living unless you're performing for somebody in some way, unless somebody is witnessing it. And that's not going to be true for everybody, but for some people it is. It's really more about not being super independent in your thinking, or like the actions that you take. You might even be saying, like, if this is an old person that you're moving into a new phase with, it's like you're saying to them things like, oh, what am I supposed to do? I have to move. Where am I going to move to? Am I going to move in with you? Are we going to move in somehow or something like that? And they're like, well, we're not there yet. Or you know that you're not there yet. That's just an example. There's so many other things that you could be going through. But it's like that kind of energy where you're not making decisions about your life moving forward because you're wondering what decisions you're supposed to be making with this other person. And this other person, while they want to offer you stuff, like they want to offer you the love that you deserve and the care that you deserve, they're not ready for it yet. They're not ready for it yet. Why? Why aren't they ready? Seeing Libra energy and Mars energy, Aries, Scorpio, I think. 7 of Wands, which I can't show you, in reverse. They're still confused. They're working out some mental dilemmas. The Mirror. This one I also can't show you, but it's a major arcana, number 10. What's number 10? It's before Justice. The Wheel of Fortune. Things will turn around for this person. They are just sorting out a lot of things. It's like they've been putting off something for a very long time. They've been putting off sorting through these mental dilemmas or personal issues, like internal issues. And they're taking a look at themselves now. But it's a lot to clear out. And so it's taking them some time. But you have to have faith in this person because they are actually doing the work to clear it out. They are actually, I see them taking this moment of self-reflection. And so your job in this moment is to focus on what you are meant to be looking at in yourself and healing in yourself. What is it that this collective is meant to be healing in themselves right now? Queen of Pentacles. Self-respect, self-care, healthy boundaries, taking care of the body, financial, material stability, a happy home, a safe safe, happy home. That feeling of safety and happiness in yourself. And you, oh, I love this. You're also, you cannot make this up. Okay. Wheel of Fortune. And then we have here the Chariot. Okay. Coming out for you again. Things are actually turning around for you, and you are creating that stability by looking at yourself, even just by being here. If you are here still at this point in the reading, please leave me a comment and let me know that you are still here for the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, because that means that you are actually, you don't even have to claim it. You don't have to say like, I claim this, I affirm this. It is yours already. You don't have to claim it or affirm it. It is yours. You are getting exactly what you wanted and what you asked for. You're getting the stability with this person in this situation, like whether it's an old person you're going into a new phase with, or a new person who you're, healing, working through those old patterns with. You are getting exactly what you asked for. And you're getting that creative life. You're getting that creative life that you really desired. You're just very rapidly having to work through some mental dilemmas, but you're getting control over it. You're getting control over it. I love this for you. Oh, that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. What are the next steps for the collective on how they can claim this creative life for themselves? Again, Spirit's reminding me, the Divine Earth Mother reminding me, it's theirs already. They don't have to claim anything. It's theirs. They're doing the work. Even just the fact that you're here watching this. This is the work. Okay? You're gaining clarity. You're understanding what you need to do for yourself. You're exactly where you need to be. Eight of Swords. You're setting healthy boundaries and you're learning how to free yourself. We have again, Two of Cups on the bottom, and the Emperor. Okay, so you're putting in the work in your relationships, and you're entering a new phase in your relationships. And this is what you're doing right now. The work that you're doing right now is freeing yourself. Give me a little bit of information about exactly how this work that they're doing is freeing themselves so that they know what to keep doing. You're freeing yourself from emotional immaturity and instability that has been blocking your intuition. You're seeing that strength is sometimes it's different, it's gentle, it's like what I was saying, it's somebody who knows how to be diplomatic instead of creating war in a way that is healthy for you, not holding things inside and bottling things up, but in a way that is actually healthy for you and for others. Okay, so we're just repeating ourselves at this point. So I'm just going to get a little bit of advice from the Oracle Spirit Animal deck and send you on your way. Don't worry though, there's more messages that are going to come out because this energy is just kind of like we're moving through it right now. So it's time to breathe, to take things slowly. Also notice how I stopped yawning at a certain point. So I think that what I was saying when I was yawning was all like major confirmation that this was like, there's a lot of you, or most of you who are watching this are dealing with those specific things that I mentioned. What's the advice for this collective? Earth Mother, what is the advice for this collective? Chameleon Spirit, act as if. 14. So 14 might be significant for you. 1 is new beginnings. 4 is about work-life balance, harmony, stability, especially stability in home and family. You put them together, 1 and 4, that makes 5, which is the number of spirit, of the source, just the divine, like there being a divine plan. There's a need for you right now to act. My God. You guys are a very powerful group. I'm never like yawning like this or like having the hiccups in my readings, but right now I'm getting the hiccups again, and that's so crazy to me. Um Chameleon spirit, act as if. It's like you're supposed to be acting as though you already have the things the things that you have been calling into reality, into fruition. You're supposed to be kind of acting like a little bit delulu, all right? It's like if you asked for $20,000, acting like you already have $20,000 in the bank. You might have no dollars in the bank, but you're acting like it. Um, it's like it's about visualizing and believing. Remember, I talked to you about the nocebo effect plus the placebo effect. So it's like part of the placebo effect is being delusionally it's delusionally believing that that you did take this medication and that it is helping you. And the same thing can happen the other way around. You can delusionally believe. Now, again, this is within reason. Because I'll tell you this story. I have a medical condition in which I need to take a medication to stay alive. When I was first experimenting with spirituality on my own, because I didn't have access to divination practices or anything like that. When I first started them, I was doing all of this on my own. And so part of me being delirious was saying that I wanted to heal this this ailment, this thing that I was going through, and not have to take medication anymore. Now, believe I do believe that at some point in time, like with a set of healthy habits and healthy routines, maybe it's possible to get to the point where I wouldn't have to take that medication. But I hadn't done any of that work yet, and I haven't really gotten to the point where I've understood the work that needs to be done specifically for that, to heal that thing. So I stopped taking the medication very suddenly, and I experienced some real consequences from not taking the medication. There was no amount of delusional thinking that was going to like suddenly make an organ that had decided to stop working just suddenly work. It would have taken things like diet change or lifestyle, like major lifestyle changes. But I hadn't done that work yet. And so like, and the truth is I couldn't really tell you if that thing could be healed or not, because I haven't found the combination of things that would heal it. Um, so so I'm saying this because like I don't want anyone to hear what I'm saying and then say like do make that same mistake that I made, where they're like, "Oh, I'm just being so delusional about this that I don't also put in the work to make my dreams come into reality, into fruition." And that's part of this 7 of Pentacles in reverse, is that this is like there are steps that you need to take um that take time, like, and you haven't started taking them yet, or have put them off for such a long time that it's like you're having to um you're having to actually put in some effort into this thing, into whatever it is. And so this chameleon spirit, act as if, is is an encouragement to begin taking those steps. And so like for some of you it might be like this is just going to be an example, but like for some, an example of this might be that you're like, I want to improve my mobility, so I am gonna go to the gym and start working on it. And you like get the gym membership and you go to the gym every day, and you might not be able to lift as much weight as you would like, or move in the ways that you would like, but you still go to the gym every day and you act like you're like the most gym broiest gym bro. Okay, because that's like the way that you get yourself to go to the gym, and you start envisioning yourself being someone who like could move in the ways that you are training for, that you're wanting to move for. But like, you can't just think about what you want and then not put in the work for it. And you also can't put in the work for something and then not believe that you're going to achieve that. So it's like you need both. And so that's where this like acting as if it is already a reality is part of your co-creation with the universe in bringing your manifestations into reality. What is the shadow work that this collective has to do? Sorry this has taken such a long time. This is such a long reading, but it feels very significant and important. Storm Chaser in reverse, number 29. This is about avoiding conflict. You've been avoiding conflict. It is not the time to be avoiding conflict. And trust me, I understand why you would want to avoid it. I feel the same way. I don't want to be engaging in conflict that stresses me out. But this is part of this is not even karma, man. This is not karma. This is not a punishment. You didn't do anything wrong to deserve this. You know what this is? This is your glow up. This is the lesson that needs to be learned in order to achieve this stability and this ability to have self-care. It's like the reason why you would need to confront things instead of moving away from them, like instead of avoiding conflicts, the reason why you would need to engage in conflict is because that is what makes you stable. Being able to look a storm in the eye and say, yeah, this is scary. This is dysregulating, but I can do it. That is what's important for you right now. That is an important part of your lesson. So that is necessary in order for you not just to learn the lesson, but to actually begin to manifest your desires into reality. Okay? Please do not avoid this conflict, because you are absolutely able, like this is guaranteed to you. This is guaranteed to you. And you are being given the gift of forward momentum, of things moving very quickly, of gaining control over your life. Okay, this is happening for you very quickly as you learn to embrace conflict in a way that is healthy for both yourself and others. I really hope that this resonated for you. If it did, please leave me a thumbs up, like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and this is yours. Just embrace the conflict. All I'll stick with you. We'll talk about this over the coming days and weeks. You'll figure it out. You'll be okay. Just embrace it. Chaos can be good. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.